Okay.
Sippy.
We'll sip. Now we go ahead and invite in our VOD YouTube watchers and our podcast listeners to join us. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
We're just starting.
everyone.
Come on in. Couple quick little announcements, y'all. I think all of us here are going to be at PAX Unplugged in just a little bit in December. So if you want to say hi to this cool cast and you happen to be at PAX Unplugged, come find us, come say hi. We'll be happy to say hi to you as long as you're respectful and introduce yourselves and say, hey, you, I know you. We will be happy to do that. Hey, if you want me to sign something, that'd be so cool. I've never done that before. I will give you my autograph. It'll be real cool. I'm gonna boast myself up there right now. And it could be something, David, you could do it. I could see you and I'll be like, yes, and I will still feel absolutely fulfilled.
You've asked for this.
It's gonna happen. No,
You've asked for this now.
As soon as you said you want something signed, I was like, well, I'll be bringing this
have regrets
box and
already.
So, making dreams come true since 1989. That's what we do.
Let's do it. But also, a couple of us are going to be on some panels during that weekend. So if you are there and you have some time to go check it out, our very own Waffles is going to be a panelist in GMing your first ttrpg, how to stop worrying about failure, if that's something that's interesting to you. That'll be on Friday at 4 o'clock. Waffles will also be, and I'm so proud of this, is going to be in Disabilities at the Gaming Table at 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. And myself, alongside One Dimples and Dice, will be on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. going to do Monster Menu, cooking your kills. And I don't know if y'all know this, I am a graphic designer, and so I'm very excited to also on Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m. be on, wait, where is it again? UX design and TTRPGs and games. Now, I did not ask y'all ahead of time, but is anybody else on anything at PAX that they would like to share?
If you want to come see me, I am very likely to be spending a lot of time in the X-Wing Armada and Legion and MCP tournament play areas, hanging out and being low-key and trying not to stand out so I can observe my community from the shadows. But if you see me, you can say hi.
If you see them from like across the room, you have to yell, "Oh my God, Anne Richmond!" and just run screaming. That's how.
Is that the head bard in charge?
Oh my God!
Let's
amazing.
Go.
Anything else?
That's it.
I'm on like the wait list for like 3 different panels. So
Still?
if that happens, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does happen, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I'll let you know about
TBH,
that.
I don't know. I've heard like a couple of things about panels, but I haven't ever been confirmed on them. So it's 2 weeks. So follow Twitter, and there could be some surprise happenings.
It could certainly be.
Wait, it's in
It's
2
fun.
weeks?
Yeah,
It's
man.
in 3-ish weeks. About it's real
gravy.
soon. It's why I have to go clothes shopping because people will be seeing me in person, and that is scary.
Ooh.
But
let's all
my
hang out at
flesh.
PAX. That sounds fun. Chat
yes,
and
so we'll
players
be
and
there. You should find us, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see all these beautiful faces as well. Additionally, I don't know if y'all are aware, but we unveiled our new merch store recently, and that's super exciting. So if you wish to go check out some of our stuff, you can go to sonerdwear.com/WafflesMapleSyrup. Check out all the cool swiggity swag that we got over there. There's a puzzle. There's a puzzle.
There's a puzzle. The Where the Fuck is Perception is a great shirt and notebook.
I love it.
So.
I love it so. Perfect. And lastly, I do want to thank our sponsors for tonight for truly supporting us and letting us make this cool show together. So first of all, thank you to AlchemyRPG, who is the VTT that we're using tonight, and the writers of The Lost Druid, which we are playing. Thank you also for your support. It means the world. And then also, we are sponsored by tonight, The Crafty Gamer. We talked a little bit about them in our affiliate program with them, but they're also sponsoring us, and we're super grateful for that. And they have really cool candles, which as you can see from my face, I'm searching my desk for, and is nowhere in immediate hand's reach. So I'm sorry, but thank you, The Crafty Gamer, for your support. I will definitely show it off. Waffles is gonna grab one right now. But thank you all very, very much. And here it is. Ta-da! They make really cool scents. It's like the sense of adventure, and they smell really nice. All it's great. It's wonderful. Aromas of adventure. I always get that wrong. I'm
And
sorry.
they're not
Okay.
too strong, which is important for me. So they're like they smell real nice, but not too strong.
A sense of adventure is also a very great name for.
Right.
Yeah.
But aromas of adventure is alliteration, so I don't.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that we're done critiquing our sponsors, no, I'm just kidding. We are all cut up and ready to go. So we're gonna hit that beautiful intro video. And we'll catch you in just a little
Oh,
bit to
that
get the
beautiful
show
bean
on the
footage.
road. Oh, that beautiful bean footage. Welcome back. Hello. So, last we left off to a little bit of chaos, a lot of chaos, medium amounts of chaos. Who's to tell? Who's to judge, really? But Locke returned from a solo trip to calm the mind and recenter themselves as the anxiety was hitting a little too hard at the start of a new adventure, only to be serenely interrupted by one Captain Redfall, who, in an attempt to, not garner too much more attention, Mayfire directed you all to held a private conversation down below in the kitchens underneath the bar, in which perhaps, maybe, Kay found a hint or a potential information about something they were looking for. But upon returning upwards to the bar and having the rest of the evening to yourselves, a plan unfolded, was hatched, fumbled forward. I don't know. It really kind of was like a series of trips, but it just kept going, and then it was just really, it succeeded, so I guess it counts. But one Locke and Hex did manage to grab a pretty cool, wondrous item of a book.
And a kiss.
That definitely didn't worry Hex at all. Everything's great, and it's great. Although, partway through, as y'all returned upwards, Langston was no longer around. And it was soon after y'all came back up from the kitchens, where they seemed to separate from y'all as kind of the chaos was happening. And while the plan was unfolding between Hex and Locke, Kay had a lovely dinner date with one Maggie Moon. And though, not to disappoint too much, they did, they went to bed afterwards. They were responsible adults. They were like, all right, not tonight.
That's enough.
But I want to focus back in on Langston, because Langston, when you returned up after the conversations in the kitchen with Captain Redfall, once more, two individuals kind of flagged you down. The duo that is Rip and Arlo. The ones that, one of which kind of was very, very interested in Ida, kind of interrupting you at your table prior. And when you came back up, they saw you and they kind of like waved you over. And they're just like kind of really insisting that you come join them for a drink. They're like, oh, and you can tell they're a little tipsy. They're old men. And they truly, don't seem too like nefarious, I guess is the word to use. But they're super focused on you. And they start talking about Ida again. Start rambling, and Rip is like, I've never seen Arlo, it reminds me of the the gems and the stonework by our house, right? Isn't that kind of like the same just gorgeous shade of blue you've ever seen? And like, they're just kind of going on these things, and it's enough to intrigue you. Gems by their house?
So you've seen gems that look like her. First off, you'll give her a big head if you keep complimenting her.
It's too late for that. Ida is already like, even from before, if you recall, there was no stopping this. Yeah.
So insufferable. But.
There's it's Arlo's like, well, it's not alive or anything, but it's, there's similar shades. They're right. There's a lot of all over the island. There's gems inlaid into the stonework, but by our house, there's one very similar. Yeah.
Sapphires?
Oh, yeah. I'm no stone expert. It's just like kind of drinks a little bit, like it wobbles for a second. But yeah.
I'm no dwarf. But you see what you see.
Yeah. Just Is there two of them now? Is that just the one? Kind of starts like leaning in on Rip a little bit, like heavily.
Where is this place? This house?
Our home is.
Yes, where these gems?
Was by our
Don't
house.
worry, I'm not gonna take them. I just want to know where
you
they
can't.
are so I can go.
You can't carry that.
Wait, they're large.
They're in like. And like at this point, Rip, Arlo's like at this like fully leaning in on him, is like, well, we have to go home, and he's like trying to like hold his husband a little bit, like, we can show you if you can help me with this one.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Little escort. You handsome young man, you can hold your own. You can make sure
Thanks,
we get
know.
home. And with that, they try to start gathering their things, and you have to basically, with little assistance from Rip, who's not sober on his own, try to like, hoist Arlo up by the elbow to escort them home.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm strong enough. I'm put them both up and walk with them.
Perfect. And with that, you leave the tavern, blissfully ignorant to the chaos and kissing Captain Redfall and who knows what else that occurs not long after you make your departure. So you follow them. Well, not really follow as much as try to get clear instructions on where to go is really kind of that piece of it. But a little stumbling, a little slow paced, you do manage to get them safely. Luckily, nothing really interferes. You're on alert, but it's not so late that it's like, it's not 3 a.m. If that, you know what I mean? It's not, there's enough people out and about that you're like, all right, I'll keep an eye out for any trouble, but it's not a big deal. As you traverse out of the docks and up a ways onto the island, to the other sections of the island, you get to what definitely seems to be more of a housing district. And as you traverse through here, similar cobblestones and terraces and like stone works that showed up where you were by like the bookshop and the other shops, a little closer together, but you do start seeing something that you hadn't seen yet, which is stonework and gems inlaid into the foundations of the island itself. The first gem that you come across is probably 2 feet in diameter and embedded, not as if it's grown into the stones, but like it's melded in there and held in place by metalwork. And it looks like contraptions, like inventions, like this is purposefully placed but to the scale of it being not, this isn't like a gear to this house. The scale of it makes you think this has to do with the island itself.
Fascinating.
As you continue and get closer to the house, you finally hear Rip go, "Oh, there, that one. That's probably the closest." And you see, as they kind of close, they show you their house as well, which is like a couple doors down. And you see this is actually seems to spread from the walls of like the foundation of this building onto the cobblestone streets. And there's like the grates are built around it, giving it like its birth as it gets through the street. And it's very much like this street was built around the stonework and these gems that are inlaid in here. And it is nothing like you've ever seen before. You could make sure that they get to their house okay. And what are you doing?
Yeah, just drop them off at the house, and I'm like, yep, go ahead, and tuck each other in. Good night.
Thank you. I'll see you. What? I don't know when I'll see you. Like you see him try to start like almost continue to drag you into yet another conversation, and just shove him in like it's.
No, I know the Midwestern goodbye. I'm not getting into this.
Perfect.
Oh man. So I think Langston would go and take a look at it, see if he can, chip off a piece or something. If not, see how Ida reacts to it. Yeah, I want to know how this is.
Without the burden of Rip and Arlo to keep afloat, you're able to go towards this structure. And as you go, it's dark, it's nighttime. Do you have like dark vision, or do you have any sorts of illumination?
I have torches.
Just your winning smile.
Wait, no, do you
Shing!
Yeah, torches.
I don't have a torch, but I got these pearly whites.
I don't have dark vision, but I do have torches.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to sneak, so torch.
Yeah, absolutely. So you strike up a torch and step closer. With the light illuminating, it is rather beautiful. The light spills onto this reflective surface, and with the light now you see that it is a shimmering, deep sapphire blue. And as you approach, Ida's eyes kind of grow wide like saucers, and this is at the same time a typical reaction to most shiny things from Ida, but you watch her carefully. Would you like to make me a perception check?
Absolutely.
First roll in like a month.
I know. I'm like, oh my god, what's a D20?
What is this game we play?
What is D&D?
Back in my day, we were the dice.
Back in my day, it was D or D.
Amazing. So
16.
tell me something. 16. Great. Langston, you've seen Ida around gems and jewelry because that is something you are familiar with. That was your family's trade. How do they normally interact with gems in terms of both reaction, but also them being a sapphire dragon? Do they mar stone easily in their claws? Is it something that you had to be careful of?
Not particularly, because when Ida comes across things, she wants to take and keep perfectly because they're her shinies, even when they're not her shinies.
You had to like keep them away from them.
No, it's not yours. This time it's mine. Stop it. Then I have to give her treats.
And being made of gemstone to an extent themselves, being a gem dragon, did they break stone easily? Did they
I'm going to assume so, because from her egg, she broke out of that, and I thought it was
a geode, like a
ass
rock
geode.
stone.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't chipping it.
hmm
And she just
So-
like hawked out.
At the moment the light hits and reflects off of these large gemstones, and you can see they're also they're refined. They're not like raw and like they've been carefully refined in here. Ida jumps off your shoulder, swooping down to land directly into the center of it.
Swear to you, Ida, if your mother is this island and you let her eat me, I will never forgive you.
You see her look down at it, and again her eyes wide, kind of like, ooh, shiny, and then turn her head, kind of almost like you would if you were looking at a reflection of yourself. And you're like, okay, I'm watching carefully, 16 perception, trying to see is there anything different than how she usually acts. And before you can really react, there's a shift all of a sudden as she starts to try to just start scrabbling at this and poke, like almost like pecking at it, like trying to like crack it and get into it or just something. It's very odd.
Stop it. You're going to get us into trouble. I cannot get arrested here. Not with you. They'll send us back. Both of us.
You try to just kind of pull her away.
And no, I just start speaking to her in Draconic. And then I start
Okay.
cussing if she doesn't stop.
She doesn't stop, but you do notice with a 16 perception that nothing is marring the surface of it. The claws are not leaving any scratch marks. Her attempt at breaking any piece of it off is not, it's just glancing right off of it. You have no idea what this means.
Listen,
takes
we're not
a
gonna find
second.
any answers today. Come back.
It takes her a second before she also recognizes that it's not doing anything. And she stops, but doesn't seem willing to fully like leave just yet. Like you're like, come on, and she just like stays there looking at it. And then she does look at you and is just kind of like scratching with one leg at it.
Don't know what that means. You can tell me if you want to, but we're not gonna get any answers right now.
At level 2 at the time, did Ida speak to you? I forget.
Yes, I can speak Draconic.
And she speaks it at the okay. I wasn't sure. She said, she looks at it and she's like, but it's like me.
It's not you.
It's
It's just.
but she like flutters her wings. She's like, no, but it's like me. Can we
How
take
do
it?
you know? No, we can't take it. You just
take
try.
it.
I can't
No,
take
you're
it.
bigger. And it's still so big, like it's inlaid to such a point. She's like, "You have tools, you can take it. Just try to take it."
No, I left the tools at home. I do not have tools to break gems.
We'll come back.
Come back.
Can we take it then?
Maybe.
Okay. She hops off of it and goes back up to you.
People
Do you want to make some kind of like just maybe like a flat intelligence check to think of like just run through your head what could this possibly be?
Oh boy.
Prince, if you get us another dragon, I will love you for forever.
Natural 20.
Oh, heck
Amazing.
yeah.
I have flat rolls on this too, so.
Now-
Excellent.
Here's the thing. It's not that you are an expert on gem dragons either. You're not
Oh
very
no, I know
familiar
nothing
with
about
this.
gem dragons.
But you do know that Ida's magical. That obviously. And their gem form, they are flesh and blood, but they are also gem and sapphire and a brilliantness to their scales that are harder material than typical scales. And even though she's young, you've noted that plenty of times in your interactions with her as she's hunted. And when she says this is like her, and seeing the reaction that this typical gemstone would at the very least chip or scratch or some of its surface would be marred, it's like me. Maybe in and of itself it's magical in some form. Maybe it is of a similar material. Or maybe it has to do with where she comes from.
Sort of terrifies Langston. I'm not gonna lie. Because that throwaway comment, now he's like, wait, but there might be more to that. And oh shit. What if one of those times where I was mining cut crystal was a dragon? I got a dragon. Oh my god, they're gonna come after me. Holy shit.
As your thoughts begin to spiral in sort of like a little bit of
Definitely
an anxiety,
spiraling.
you bring Ida back up into your shoulder, into your perch, and start heading back. It was a bit of a walk. It was a bit of time to get here. It took longer to get here with 2 stumbling drunks. That's okay. And you kind of get lost in your thoughts as you make your way back to the tavern. Nonetheless, when you return, you do not see your friends in the tavern any longer. I'd say it's been probably maybe like an hour and a half total with everything back and forth. And so at this point, perhaps they have completed their shenanigans and retired for the night. And you do recall Mayfire pointing out, where the inn was. You head through and are able to secure where your room is. Is there anything you wish to do before you retire for the night?
No, I mean, obviously I'd make sure Ida gets fed. But now he's probably spiraling even more because now he can't find his friends. He's like, I just left for just. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Langston, they're new people. You don't know them all that well. Maybe they have to go get their jollies off. Who knows? Just get some sleep.
You go.
Don't we only have 2 rooms?
You have 2 rooms.
Okay.
So you go and find the room. So basically you kind of talk to the person who's like keeping the desk for the inn. And there's one other thing that you notice as you go like through the inn. It is a repurposed refinery here, which has some very interesting decor and walls and things in there. And as your thoughts spiraling and you kind of like
aesthetic.
Yeah, it's cool. You do see the giant gears that are covered, like behind glass, but nonetheless covered in algae, glowing algae, what you recognize at this point as merkwa. But the structure of it, the giant cogs, the clamps, the bronze clasps are reminiscent of some of the stonework and inlay and design of how these gems were inlaid into the stoneworks of the island itself. And it makes you wonder, what is the scale and history of this island? And as your thoughts get lost in that, you ignore the drunken and angry arguments from 3 shipwrights as to where their book has gone and the other chaos that has been left in the wake of your comrades, and you go upstairs. You find the empty room, not the empty room, but the free bed that you share a room with Kay.
Yeah.
And Kay, you are aware when a little after you all retire for the night, Langston returns.
Yeah, Kay's actually like sitting up in their bed, has their gauntlet like almost fully apart, and is just like going at it with some tools. Just kind of looks up, gives you a nod, and head back down, goes back to work.
Hello? Hey.
And the most awkward exchange. What a
Very much
contrast
so.
to like the buddy room that's happening over there.
Oh yeah, no,
We're vibing.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. We've got matching pajamas somehow. We were already like
Yes.
Vibing with self-drawing books.
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Vibing and
How-
thriving.
How late do you stay up working on this gauntlet?
I mean, as long as it takes, I imagine like 4 or 5, 6 hours into the night. Like it's probably like 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Okay. So given the time of when Langston returns in this, I would like both Kay and Langston to make a perception check for me.
I'm really bad at these.
Well,
3.
Not
yeah,
bad.
you
but
are pretty
Okay.
bad at
that
those.
was
So-
not good.
A natural 5 for a 3.
That's great. That's
Negative
perfect. So Kay, you are 1, you're engrossed. 2, your tinkering is making all sorts of like odd sounds.
Along with the mumbled curses afterwards.
Yes.
Like
And
a bunch
so-
of geese. Like, that is an odd sound to be hearing during that. Sorry.
What you don't know is Kay's got their Nintendo Switch on. They're playing Goose Game.
Great.
You finished the
That's
gauntlet
canon
4
in
hours
this
ago.
But with the 12, Langston, like you are tuning out at this point, like the tinkering sounds that are coming from Kay, and try to get some sleep. But you do notice, like, at some point as you're finally falling asleep, a sound of like a thud or something coming from some ways down the hall on the floor that you're on. But you don't really pay it much mind.
Hey, did you hear that?
Kind of takes like 3 seconds and then looks up. No? Did I make a noise?
No, just I have to go see something.
You get up.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's Locke
Alright.
going for more ice.
Yell if you're in trouble. Kay stays
Yeah,
in there and
I-
keeps working.
Probably will. Or the dragon will come and bite you until you come with her.
All right.
So are you just kind of like peeking out the door? Or are you walking out?
I just walk out.
Okay. You walk out, look around down the hallway. Make another perception check for me.
Let's go,
Just
Langston.
one more. Just one more. It's a difficult one, potentially.
What if I also have a perception check for Ida?
Sure. 19. Okay.
Let's see, what does she roll? Plus. I'm
Natural
getting
20
used
for
to
Ed.
new stuff on my sheet.
Call it.
Yo, that'd be dope. You won't hear me complaining about that. Drag companion. She rolls +2. So same as me.
Alright, let's
So
go.
Let's see. I'll roll again. No, I roll +4. Never mind.
Alright.
There you go.
Dang.
Both of us are on.
Alright. Actually, you step out and you look down one side of the hallway. You don't see anything. You look down the next. Not quite sure where the noise kind of came from. It's hard to echolocate through a door. And all you see, Ida sees nothing with a 16. But with your 19, you catch just the smallest flash of hair that seems to disappear through a door. And you swear it was like red hair. But
Seen anyone else here with red hair?
I mean,
Isn't
there was a lot of
Nick there?
patrons, and there's probably someone with red hair. Yes, it's hard
I'm
to
just
tell.
saying. We
Yeah.
know a prominent character that has red hair. I'm certain that Lacer
Ronald
remembers
McDonald.
that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it could have been like a red hair that you're more familiar with. It could have been somebody else with red hair. You don't know. You caught literally a second of a flash of it. But the doors close, and without like causing a ruckus tonight, and knowing how late it is, are you gonna pursue that? Like, what are you doing? Are you gonna head to bed? Are you going to knock on doors and go, "Excuse me, do you have red hair?"
No.
Oh,
Sorry to bother you.
I
Sorry to
think
wake you
it'll
up,
be
so
in
sorry.
that sort of quiet, like I don't want to wake anyone up. Mayfire, is that you? No?
Oh, oh!
Cool. All right. I'm going back to bed.
All right. And now we come back to where we fully left off last session.
Yesterday.
Just the other
Just the other hour.
hour. Yeah, perfect. In which you all awake and start your mornings and start your day and head downstairs to the sounds of, well, the tavern, the sounds of, early morning hustle. But over time, as you all gather together again, you hear a bit more of a concerning noise outside. Crowd kind of going, like, gasping and talking and chatting. There's just some kind of something is clearly beginning to go on outside.
Is
Locks
that
are
dreadful racket?
Well,
Somebody was probably killed.
Whoa, that's a what? Whoa!
Before coffee? That's enough even for me. And she orders some coffee. And she says, "All right, now I'm ready for the murder." And then she begins walking towards the door, just kind of peeking out while she's sipping her coffee with interest.
As
Locke's
you
already
all-
out there.
Great. So I'll just, for ease, I'll say you all kind of
Yeah.
filter out through the so it's early morning on the docks. There is heavy mist, but it is still, bright, and people are walking about, and it seems to be more mercantile than it was the night before. And then the crowd gathered outside of the inn does strike you, outside of the tavern does strike you, as there seems to be almost like people just stopping and murmuring and pointing, and you look to where the ruckus is coming from, to what the source of this is, and you see a familiar face. It's a familiar dead face of one Dalnus. One of the bandits whom you chased the other day seems to be slumped at the side of the building of the Bluefin Tavern.
Locke shoots a side eye to Kay. He's just like, how did you know that?
That didn't actually happen.
That was him saying, the GM told us last time.
Yeah.
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 She posted at the end of last session. I know what's up.
Yeah.
I think Locke would just start walking over there. Like, I'm a cleric. I'm here to.
I'm a doctor.
Yes,
Doctor.
before you ask, there is a doctor in the house. And just start.
In the house. Never mind.
There's a doctor who just recently left the house. Lockwood, start heading over there.
Okay, so are you just kind of like looking around? Are you looking over Dallas to try to like?
Mm-hmm.
What's your point of interest? Okay.
I think under the guise of like, oh, I do have some expertise in like healing and like death rites or whatever. He would be trying to like get a little bit closer because like if we do know this guy, that is kind of spooky that we show up in town, this guy steals something from us and then dies.
Right. Dallas is dead for sure. When you approach and you check him over, not only is he dead, he has been for a little bit, seems to be. Not died a long time ago and
wasn't a zombie yesterday. Okay.
Right,
cool.
right. But you know, more than just now, and he seems to have been stabbed quite a few times. Not quite, like more than once, enough to kill him. Not like 50 times. Sorry, that sounded very intense.
No, I think you're right. I think any time more than once is too many times to be stabbed. I think can I medically examine the wounds?
Okay.
Just like I just want to see like
make a medicine check.
I can do this for you.
I can do that.
I can do that. Let's see. My medicine is right. Ooh, +6. That's exciting.
During all this, Cave's just gonna be like scanning the crowd for anyone that looks.
Wow!
weird.
Natural 1 +6. That's a 7.
That's a beautiful natural one. Just as Kay gets a nuggie.
Way to go.
But so Kay is scanning the crowd looking for like suspicious individuals basically. So Kay, as you're scanning the crowd, you're looking around. So most of these people seem to be passerbys, some people doing shopping, some people seem to be like, you know, like shipwrights that were passing by, things like that. They do seem to be like stopping, chatting, gossiping, plenty of that. There does not seem to be any of the guards here yet, to your relief, because akin to what Locke was saying, like, or what David was saying, it would be a little bit suspicious, and that does put you on a little bit of alert. However, standing by the notice board that sits outside of the Bluefin Tavern, is somebody that you recognize. Bortles.
God damn it.
Bortles, the one who provided you this job, and he seems to be holding up this like sign of like, you know, like a someone who's picking you up from the airport. Yeah. Except as you kind of squint at the sign, like you realize that he did not know what to write, so he's just like, the people from the ship yesterday is kind of like written on the sign. He's doing his best. And you catch his eye, like you catch his presence before he sees you, because there is a crowd there, so you can clock that. I will go back to Locke's lovely natural one.
No, that's a complete failure.
There is
100%.
slicey, sharp thing in flesh that has definitely killed him. And maybe like that, there's blood, you know, like on him and everything. But any blade-like implement, probably a sword, a dagger, I don't know.
I think Locke just realized he doesn't actually like the sight of blood. Hey. Then can I do one more thing before I sort of? I want to end this with like he'll be as respectful as he can to like put this person to rest with the most respect that you can have after being stabbed less than 50 times and more than twice. But I want to investigate if there's any like it might be a stretch, but if there's any like notes or symbols or weird branding or like any sort of indication aside from the stabbings that like any clues. That's what I'm looking for. Any clues as to what happened here.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check. And while you make that investigation check, Hex and Langston, what are y'all up to?
Man, I'm rolling like dog shit tonight.
I was gonna
Just
say
get it all
that
out now. It's great.
Yeah.
I wanted to try and investigate, kind of like try to see whether he died here or was dumped here, or like what the signs of like how did this come to pass in that sense are. If I could roll an investigation.
Absolutely.
Okay. And thusly I do. Am I good at that?
And so
Oh
is
yeah,
she.
I'm alright at it. I'm alright at it. That's fine. Normal. Oh, it's not good. No, it's alright. It's a 14.
Good.
Okay. I think that's enough to know that, like, based also on really how the body looks like right now, it does look like if somebody was stabbed right there and kind of like slumped to the ground, it would be in a different position than the kind of like
Yeah, somebody put him here.
like hefted it off over here kind of a deal. So yeah, in all likelihood, this was dumped here, for lack of a better term.
someone is trying to send a message. Otherwise, why would they bring such a terrible thing to a doorstep?
I want to keep a bandit, or was this a cat?
I wonder
Cats
if
bring people treats. That's what I know about cats.
One big cat that's like, here, I brought you a present.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a message for someone in particular. And she sort of like looks around, but also motions to the like four of us
Mhm.
at the same time. After all, we did give him his life. We could have killed him. Maybe someone is here to say either you're welcome, I've handled it, or you don't get to decide in this city. We decide for you.
Is this the one that we like set free? No.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the last one that basically you gave you information as well prior to you leaving.
Or
him.
maybe this is what happens when you give away information
That's,
on Maggie's doorstep.
that's the likely one. Kay says, like, looking away and throws up a gauntlet hand to try to catch Bortle's attention.
Yeah. Locking
I
quickly
like
like
this is
does
so
just a quick
gauche,
like.
though. Ugh.
At this point, Mayfire kind of steps out from the tavern and joins you all as well. And she's like, "What's going on out here? What is that? What is? Did you? What is going on?"
Well, I don't think we know what's going on, but I think we need to not be here. Trust me, I investigated the best of my ability. There's nothing we can find on this thing. We need to not be here.
So you like she came out basically when you started like stepping away from the body, and she's like, "Did you touch it? Did you?"
No.
She
no,
starts
of course
looking
not.
around as Kay waves starts raising their gauntlet towards the thing, and she kind of clocks that, and she kind of just grabs your hand and like tries to pull it down. She's like, "No, we need to go. We don't have
Were you
time."
out here last night? Did you see what happened?
No, I went to bed before all of you.
I saw. Never mind.
People saw you four running through the streets yesterday. That is already attracted attention and stories.
Mhm.
She's running through the six
And
of
after the
Mallows.
bookshop, it is only a matter of time before the cards are not here yet. It is only a matter of time. We need to go now before anybody else sees you.
Let's get
Fine,
Let's
sure.
get Bortles and go
yeah,
then.
This guy's got a sign for us. And then yeah.
Real quick before we go too much deeper. Is it first of all? This is very strange. Is it strange that he's here too? Is that too many planets
You're talking
aligning?
about Bortles?
Yeah.
maybe he's checking
So-
up on the job.
As a reminder, yes. As a reminder, you were going to do your job today prior to meeting up with Captain Redfall to set sail.
Mhm.
The job that you came here for, which for what I recall from last time, like Mayfire was aware of because she was like
Mhm.
with y'all before you headed to bed, and she looks over and she's like, we don't have time to do whatever you have to do. We have to go now. We have to tell Captain Redfall to get ready now, and we need to get out of here.
I'm fine dodging work.
Let's go.
I mean, I'm at least gonna tell him.
I
If you want.
All right.
He needs to go find someone else to do it.
Fine.
As a
Oh, that's
only-
what you want to go tell him. It's like, what are you gonna tell him? That we killed this guy?
No,
Damn
we
it.
can't do the job.
and you can absolutely do that. For lore's sake and like kind of like for breadth of like what this is, even though you're new to Fano, I would say when having the option to like pick up this job, all four of you would at the very least have some kind of like placement of who you got a job from, which is the Starless Fair. And you know that's kind of like a little on the seedy side of people / groups. That's just to add, just like you can make that, you can absolutely still do that. I just wanted to like for sake of, it's not just like the tavern keep needed something for me. It is like
Yeah.
a group that you agreed to do something for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think they might know? Think they might have some information if the Starless Fair, who we're supposed to be working for, might know what's going on? How curious are we
But
about
if it's
this?
delayed,
Kate kind of speaks up. I don't. If we're getting information, then we have to do the job, which delays everything, which puts us in jail, from what Mayfire say.
Jail is bad. Don't like jail.
let's go. It's like at this point, like Mayfire's trying to like hustle y'all
Yeah.
away from the crowd because
Yeah.
because Locke
Oh, yeah,
came
fine.
and stepped forward. People are kind of
Oh,
looking
yeah,
at
totally.
y'all and trying to be like, oh, are they responsible for this? And like,
And I'm super unique looking. Actually, we all are. All of us are very
yeah.
unique looking.
yes,
Walking around with the
very,
blue
very
sapphire
much.
dragon.
Yeah.
I am not hidden at this point.
So Kate's gonna
I will.
dash off to Bortles for just a second and then meet back up with them as quick as they can.
Langston's put the cloak back over his head, tucked Ida under his arm, cloak that back over. Shut up. You're not going out for now.
I will say when I was up there, I was primarily there to like
Check the body.
check the body. No, I wasn't, and I was probably, he probably would have been pretty vocal about like, oh yeah, like I'm a doctor basically checking this, yeah, time of death. Like he wasn't trying to be like sneaky about it or like I'm here to finish the job. Like,
It'll be a medicine
yeah.
check.
yeah,
To put that in perspective, as having kind of traversed through both the Lakeport docks and some of the other areas of Fano thus far, this place is far from peak Fano era. And you remember the streets, you remember the kids that were hungry, you remember that it seems leaning on the side of like, you take care of yourself here. So even kind of like, oh, I'm a doctor, let me go check that. Involving yourself in clearly bad business is not a move most people would do. So even
Yeah.
though you were like, oh, I'm just going to go check it out kind of a deal, not the most suspicious thing at all by any means, but still people would know you.
yeah, that's fine. It's totally fine.
Cool. All right, so you, Kay, run off to Bortles, who's like, oh, yeah. So you're ready to do the job? Where's your group? Where's your crew?
It's just kind of looking around super awkwardly. Look, we owe you one.
Yeah, you're here for a job.
Yeah, a job that's definitely not gonna get done anytime soon because of extenuating circumstances. If we stayed to do the job would also not get done. So instead, we're gonna keep ourselves safe, and we'll do a job for you later.
You're not gonna listen. Can you just tell that to the boss though? Because like I don't shoot the messenger kind of thing going on here, and I just don't really want to be responsible because I brought y'all here.
Kate puts the big gauntlet on his shoulder. Look. I don't want the messenger to get shot. So
Great, don't shoot me.
I'm not. You tell the boss what you want to tell them. We're dead. We don't want to do the job. Come after us, kill us.
You're dead?
Whatever doesn't get you shot, you come up with it. If you think us owing them is good, fine.
Oh, you do, and you will. That's not. Okay. I'm sorry. That came off as a threat. I did not mean to do that. Kind of like looking at your arm.
Yeah.
No. So what I mean is that the Starless Fair, not me, the messenger, does remember these kinds of things. But no, like the gauntlet gets like a little heavier. I got it. it. I will make something up.
Yeah, and as part of a slight intimidation tactic, she's gonna like squeeze like the top shoulder muscle in between the gauntlet and just say very plainly, we could have left and not told you anything. And then release the muscle.
Kind of glances like past you at like the dead body that's still there and the crowd and be like, okay, I'll make something up. Bye. And like starts turning to try to like get out.
Kay's like, good luck. And then we'll head back to the party.
Okay.
TFN, ta-ta for now.
And you all head to try to find like Captain Redfall's like ship and like try to get out of here earlier rather than later.
Yeah.
Cool. So you duck out from the crowd. As a general group here, let's start off with one of our first kind of like group checks. Let's make a sort of a passive stealth check. Less to active stealthing and more of like, just how noticeable are y'all as you try to duck out of here and GTFO from a dead body?
Is it stealth?
Not suspicious at all.
I don't want to do stealth.
I do.
I'll try it.
Do it
Probably not very
anyways?
good, but- Man,
All
again,
right.
just really not doing well tonight with these rolls.
It's a 15 for me,
17,
dog.
15
Hey, two
and a
fives.
5. Okay. So 17, 15 and 2 5s. I'm picking up a nice little average here. It works. Okay, so you all, and again, not an active stealth, not like you like hoods up, like through the night over here, but more so, you basically separate from the crowd. Not many eyes are following you. The crowd is, you kind of start just maneuvering to the back of the crowd and then head out. And you go to where Captain Redfall told you he was docked at the time. He had mentioned at the time that you, he would need time to get the ship ready and that you would head out, in the afternoon-ish. So when you show up, requesting to speed things up just a little bit, you do get kind of, like that, like, so with your help to finish quickly loading the ship and getting it ready, you are able to, you're not getting off right away. There's going to be some time here where you do have to help Captain Redfall quicken up the pace, change things up a little bit, and get going. But you're able to do so. And it is not too difficult to convince him to do so. A nice little change of scene here as you find Moxie 7 is the ship, and you can see it here. It's so beautiful. Look at the docks. Look at that beautiful ship.
Beautifully done.
This ship is the 7th ship, Moxie 7. It is beautiful as you kind of take it in and are working on it just a little bit under the captain's orders to load things and help move things a little bit quicker. Its oak planked hull wears several scars from collisions with rocks, and the harsh weather of the lake definitely has discolored the canvas sails, but nonetheless, this is a stout vessel that you can tell will sail true, and it's puts a little bit of confidence behind you as you recognize that it does make sense that Captain Redfall with this ship would be perhaps one of the few that can make it to Broken Top Bay. Or I think I may have just messed that up. That's okay. No, I did it. It's Broken Top Bay. I got it.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Got it
Yeah.
in one.
Got it in one.
Hex is sort of just like taking it in, and she goes, "Well, love what he's done with the place," and kind of like scrapes her finger along the side of the ship, like seeing all of the mars and dings from experience.
There's one thing that I didn't quite mention about Captain Redfall last time. And it's perhaps it was just dark in the tavern. I'm gonna go with that,
Is he
right? But
hot?
as you see him, I mean, he's a massive man who tends to go shirtless. I would say yes, absolutely.
All right.
I'll send you a pic later.
We
Right.
we cast him as the guy that plays Aquaman, right?
Hell yeah,
Ugh,
Jason
I like it.
Momoa.
Jason
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
Uh-oh. Why would you say
Um,
that? Why? Oh no.
It's getting
Oh,
hot
no.
here.
I'm glad I kissed this man.
I know.
You did.
Yeah.
You very. So you do see, the ornately crafted golden hardware embellishes the quarterdeck's railing, running to the ship's stern, and a signature feature. So this type of actually Locke, you would probably be the first to recognize this. Like that type of embellishment that runs along it is a signature Hendon ship.
Oh.
And it's beautiful. And as you see Captain Redfall in action, shirtless, helping the crew load, crates in and barking orders, you see on his chest a tattoo that reads Moxie with an I that's crossed out, and then a 2 that's crossed out, and then a 3 that's crossed out, and then a 4 that's crossed out, as he has listed through the ships that he has gone through, and currently at the bottom of that list is the 7 that is not yet crossed out.
Oh, we can change that.
You very well can, because at this point, with some last quick getting readies, that's a word, you all board to set sail on a precarious journey ahead.
Moxie.
We'll take some Moxie. Hopefully not 7 of them. And we will start this journey when we come back from break.
Ooh, very nice.
Boats.
We're setting
Boats.
off.
Hell yeah, way to go.
Yeah,
Dang,
it's beautiful.
you did a
This
great
is
job.
a sexy ship. I like ships, by the way. It might be my like
Turtles.
Pirates of the Caribbean, like Jack Sparrow thing that I had as a kid, but I like ships.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
it was fun to read through all of these things, and there's that. Well, listen, I'll share with y'all the handout for the map. It's gonna be great.
Hell yeah.
So y'all can see this ship in action in just a little bit. So stick around as we come back from break and see what information is gathered, and perhaps, you'll get there. Everything's fine. Perfect. No problems.
No GM has
and-
ever said everything's fine and everything actually turned out to be fine. Never.
I'm sure it'll be great. Stick around, y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out with us so far, and we'll hope to see you in just a little couple minutes. Stick around. Bye. Hello. I am calm. Cool,
I got
calm
it.
and collected. Yeah, you got it. Great, good. Welcome back, everybody, to the Panic
So shake.
Streams. Are they panicked or are they just enthusiastic about the picture of Redbeard that I sent people?
Panic.
I mean, that could also be
Redbeard,
panicked.
Redfall.
Panic.
Yeah, could be panicked. Could be
I'm
both.
having a gay panic about it all.
I like it. All right, welcome back. So we pick up
Sorry.
Dimples. I'm gonna ignore your chat. So we pick up where we leave this town of Fano. I literally all I see is Dimples' message right now. Let me cover it up. Hold on. All right, there we go. Cool, calm, and collected. Huh. You set sail. Rushed more than perhaps you would prefer, unable to not only complete the job that you were promised a certain family of thieves, black market individuals, really, you know, up society folk, dodging suspicion before it gets too close to you, and unable to fully stock up necessarily for this journey. You head out. Once upon the Hendon vessel, you see that it is a speedy ship, but you know that the journey to Broken Top Bay is a rather long 50-mile journey. It's going to take a nice solid maybe like 10 hours to get there. It'll take you some time. So you know that you will have some time on the ship to get to know the individuals on it, to talk to each other, and to potentially even see the sights. There are, as you've loaded this vessel already, you've probably met some of the crew that assist Redfall on the voyage, and Redfall does take a second to introduce you. Oh, who's a baby? Look at the baby.
I also just saw Dimples' message.
Great. Welcome,
Sorry.
welcome to the pain.
Inside the joke.
You meet and are introduced to the first mate, Yisha. Athletic,
Yeesh.
bald, shaved head,
Uh-oh.
piercing eyes, strict and sharp, and strapped with packs and satchels.
Ooh.
She looks competent. She looks rather intense. You meet Wix, the quartermaster and bosun. Wait, hold on. Isn't that pronounced differently?
No, you pronounced
No,
it
you
correctly.
No, you
You
did
pronounced it correctly.
Okay.
It's spelled
Great.
boatswain, and it's pronounced boatswain.
They didn't write it as boatswain. They wrote
Oh,
bosun.
no.
Weird.
Oh no,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yes.
It's okay.
You were failed
um,
correctly? Because I think we just
Fail forward. Yeah, there we
fail
go.
forward.
This small individual is a gnome. He has big eyes and feathered hair, and he seems to always be smirking in some way. You quickly find out that he is a funny, boisterous individual, loving to crack jokes all of the time, no matter the situation. You also meet the ship's cook, Sunliza. Sunliza strikes you immediately, Hex, as very interesting. She is very thin, almost wobbly, with pretty blonde hair. While she is friendly and mellow, she is different. She is trusted by the crew. It seems to cook, delicious food, but you could, just looking at her, like, you don't think she doesn't look the type, is all that comes up to you, really. But you do see that she wears a little, like, chest around her neck, small one. And you hear her, as a side, talking about it, kind of almost like gesturing to it and calling them my bugs.
My buds?
Bugs.
My bugs. Ugh.
She's an interesting one for sure. And she too.
Creepy crawlers.
You catch just kind of like the one thing that strikes you is kind of like a wind blows in off of like coming instead of coming from the waters, it comes like almost from Fano and the docks, and you sneeze as you have been because you know you've been a little congested recently. So does she. It's almost like a weird tandem of like the breeze comes up and you're like, Achoo! Oh, you did okay.
Yeah. She sort of like wipes her she takes out like a handkerchief and wipes her nose, and she says, "Have you been ill for some time, or is that just the way of you?" She says, sort of gesturing to the wobbly nature.
She kind of like mimics the gesture back, but without like just kind of almost just as mimicking situation, and she's just like, "Oh, a pleasure to meet you. Yes, I get that way sometimes when the wind blows the right way."
And what kind of way is that? Oh, I'm Hex, Saxandra Grimthorn, at your service.
What's your specialty, Hex?
Oh, I'm a straight up killer.
Oh, yeah.
And she winks.
She kind of just like, just almost like hand over her long, like almost like spindly fingers, just like touching her chest, and she's like, "Oh, that sounds lovely."
Oh, it is.
And she's like on your wavelength, and it's odd.
Yeah, we're gonna get along great. She says, I'm familiar with the arcane arts that use blood to power spells and attacks.
Oh,
Do you like blood?
but
Are you a blood
I don't
enjoyer,
mind
an
it.
enthusiast?
well, sometimes it depends on what I'm trying to do.
What do you like to do with
Or are you
blood?
talking for magic?
Magic,
For cooking.
not cooking. Let's roll right.
She
past
looks at
that.
if Locke mentions this, it's just like,
No.
it's an interesting ingredient that can be added for all sorts of things. Have you ever had black pudding?
No, Ida, you cannot have people's blood. It's bad.
It's high.
Don't
High.
eat
Yeah.
the people.
She says,
This is not a normal human conversation.
Yeah, like Locke leans to like Hex, leans to
Mhm.
Langston and Kay, and it's just like, I've lived at a monastery most of my life, but that's not a normal way to introduce yourself, right? That's okay, all right. Keep going, doing great.
You
"You're
know,
doing great."
I find myself always teetering between the two. It's a hard decision to make, either, goals in life and everything. It's always a conundrum.
Sorry, teetering between blood and eating blood, or what are we saying here?
Well, to be the most powerful witch or to be invited into any home and cook a warm meal. It's a hard decision to make.
Are you a witch?
I am. Are you?
I belong to one. I don't fancy myself one, but maybe.
Oh, you poor dear. And she kind of like, if you let her, she goes and just kind of like touches it. Okay, so most people would be like pat on the shoulder or something
Yeah.
like that, right? And instead she just kind of touches you with one finger on the cheek. But like in a consoling manner, like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
poor dear."
Yeah, she says, "What is that around your neck? It's quite fascinating."
My bugs.
Go on.
Do you want to see them?
Sure. You
She
fascinate
kind of
me,
pulls it
Sunrita.
off. She opens up the chest, and there is an assortment of bugs in this little chest necklace thing. They are alive, crawling around in there. They are her bugs. These beetles and
What's that about? She says.
She's a bug type trainer. It's easy.
I'll kill you.
they're bugs.
No, you cannot eat her bugs. You cannot have them. Jeez.
There's no thing. It's just my bugs. Closes them. Puts it back on. Do you not have any pets?
Not
They help
Yet.
pass the time.
I find having people around or things around that you enjoy and like just makes you easier to hurt in the long run.
Oh, poor dear. Well, come around sometime, and perhaps if you bond with one of them, you can start having your own collection. I'll let you take one.
Interesting. Bet on it, she says. Like, yeah.
Bet.
Yeah.
And she just turns to the other and she goes, I don't know, she seems nice. Like,
So yes, amazing. So you introduced to those, and there's a handful of other crew members as well that are, you know, the classic nameless crew of 3, rather. And you set off. You set sail. The placid waters idle peacefully. A calm, fractured. Oh, wait. Did someone say something? Sorry. No. Okay. Just kidding. Let me
I can if
actually
you
know.
want me to, but
You just did. Ew.
we did it.
And once again, look at this beautiful scene. So serene. Oh, that
It
rhymed.
is really
Okay.
beautiful.
A calm, fractured only as the Moxie 7 cuts a path through the fathomless blue. Your eyes strain to make out vestiges of land at the edge of your vision. Crystal Lake's enormity dwarfs some seas. An imposing tower looms in the distance. Beyond that, a massive wall juts out from the mountain range and stretches the length of the shore. The ship serenades you with a chorus of creaks and groans, but it's as hearty as any vessel on the lake. The rich scent of Hendon oil mixes with the crisp mountain air and permeates the deck as you make your way towards the unknown. You have now some hours to waste away, if you will. Waste however you so choose. Now, as I mentioned, there are some sights and of things that you kind of can see as you pass by. I will make note that more specifically the thing that takes the most of your attention as you start getting some distance between yourself and Fano is what you hear the crew refer to as the Merqua Glow Tower.
fascinating.
It's on the horizon. It looks
Wonderful.
like you're gonna get closer to it on your way, like from where you're headed. But does anybody wish to do anything as you start your journey?
Yeah, she wants to ask about that tower and what exactly it's used for. Would Isha know?
Yeah, you could talk to Isha. So you start with them and me find it. All right, so Yisha, when you ask her about it, you kind of she's in the midst of like tying some rope and just kind of busying herself on the deck. What do you just kind of
Yeah, she says, the Merqua is creating a bit of a menace in town. What's the tower for? I'm sorry, I'm new to the region. I'd love to know more.
Oh. Nope, that's not her voice. Let's try that again. That was the other one. Oh, that thing. That's I don't know, there's lots of rumors about it. It's a tower. It's got a lot of Merqua on it, so it glows. So it's Merqua Glow Tower is what we call it. I mean, like, honestly, I don't. Captain has some interesting theories about it. He's had some stories. I don't know though. I've not really set foot on that place.
Issues with Merqua in your travels on the Moxie 7.
You cut out the very beginning there. What was that question? Sorry.
Have you had any issues with Merqua on the ship?
Here and there. I mean, that shit touches stuff. It's not good, One point, Captain got close to that, started fishing. by there. Fish ain't good around there. Get like tainted by that stuff. You know, it's poisonous to you.
Does Merkwa make you sick?
Could. There's all sorts of stuff. I think I heard like I've seen things. People say that when animals ingest it, they kind of like get all like transformed and like dangerous. Sometimes. But you know, I don't eat that stuff.
Your
You want
chef
some?
seem no. Don't touch the stuff, she says. I'm just curious because your chef seems a little sick.
Sick?
And
What?
she was sneezing downstairs.
Sin, you sick? Touching our food? You sick? And soon Lisa comes up, like kind of like peeking from like underneath the deck, or from the door that leads down, and she's just like, "What? Are you what?" And you should just kind of like points her like thumb to you. She says you're sick.
Well, I'm not like you're sick. Like you're very cool, but I also noticed that like you and I were a little bit sniffly, and I was curious if that was something going around.
Oh, no. It's I thought you. Sometimes, especially when the Merkwa, you know, the algae and the things get too heavy in the air. I think it's just an allergy. Is all. I'm not sick. Just allergic.
You know, that makes a lot more sense. I'm an extremist in all things. Introductions,
Yeah.
sickness. Kind of go
Who's
all
There's
thinking
in.
zebras?
nothing wrong with extremes. I experimented with it. I fed it to some of our bugs, and well, one just got very, very large, and so I let it go.
But what?
And it's like she like fed Merkwa
Yeah.
Yeah.
to one of her bugs, and it grew like ginormous based on her hand size, and apparently she let it go somewhere.
She gets a look on her face, and I don't know who has a high insight check, but she kind of looks and thinks, and her eyes just slowly move over to Ida, and then she just kind of crosses her arms over her chest.
I'm 100% on board with this. What is everybody else up to in this early hours of your journey?
I think at first Locke is a little nervous about being on a ship again, but then like as he sees some of the red shirts like tying the box knots and the square knots and tying down the lines and things, he just is like walking behind them like
That's legit.
fixing it and just like, wow, they really didn't train you here because you're using a double barrel knot to tie down the mainsail when it should be a triple barrel knot. And Redbeard, is this the kind of crew you sail with? And he's just like starting to like just fix it as like shit's going on. And he's getting
You call up to Captain Redfall, who you kind of look up, who's like kind of busying himself somewhere like up on the by the helm, and it's kind of expecting him to answer. Instead, you hear a voice coming from like your like behind you and like to your bottom like left, and you see Wix standing there, kind of just rubbing their chin, watching you, staring.
And, like Locke just like looks him like right in the eye, and just like unties the knot and like reties it correctly, and he's just like, a tidy ship is a good ship, and you
You
Hmm,
telling
what-
this to me, the quartermaster of the ship?
And he points to like another rope that's like not tied correctly, and he says, I guess I should be telling it to Dwayne over there, who is
Before you
Yeah.
kind of finish, he kind of slaps you on the back, but it's your lower back because that's where he can reach. And he's
Oh.
like, "Cause you're absolutely right. That is shit." And he goes to find the guy, and he's just like brings him over to you. Can you train him?
been a while, but yes, absolutely.
You're making yourself useful already. I'ma tell Captain. Oh, I'ma just sing your praises, Mr.
Luck.
Locke, Mr. Locke, and Key. Get it? All right. It goes-
Wait, your name is Key? That's wonderful.
no, it's
oh.
Wix.
Oh, damn. That makes me less excited. All right, well, here we go. He starts just like, this is how you scrub the deck. This is how you tie this knot. This is how you climb the ladder thing the fastest. And this is how you fucking do all this other shit. There's a lot of cursing in that
Amazing.
sentence. I'm sorry.
You get yourself well known with the crew. But this is the fun part. Why don't you make me a diplomacy check to see if they're like annoyed by the extra work or if you get in their good graces?
Oh, it's probably gonna be not good. They're probably gonna be very annoyed with me. Do you want? Let's do. What about persuasion?
I'll allow it.
Okay.
You
It's
got
a plus-
any
it's a
guidance
plus
to
zero.
It's like
bank
a
on that?
diplomacy check is not a.
Yeah, I could do perform. Oh, these are all plus zero.
It's
for me.
fine.
Uh,
I play
yeah.
Pathfinder. It's okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just yeah, I might want to cast guidance on myself before I do that. Because knowing how I've been rolling tonight, I'm gonna need it. Yeah, I'm gonna cast guidance on myself, which means I get some stuff. I touch myself. I am a willing creature. I roll a d4 and add that number to my.
Consent is important.
Yes. So this is the first important part of being a good ship's hand. You got to consent to whether you want to do the work or not, then cast your magic spells on yourself to help you do that work. Key, it's your first lesson. All right, here we go. Casting the spell, and I get to roll a d4 now. So I get to whatever I roll next. I get to add a 1. Hell yes.
Good.
Okay.
We are
All right.
at the edges of our seats. Let's go.
I know. All right, persuasion. All right, Key. This is what you got to do. As I roll a 11, the most average.
12.
As you
total.
talk
Yeah.
intensely at this, one of the younger crew members, not a kid by any means, younger. He's probably like just in his early
Probably older
20s
than
or
me.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has his kind of hands behind his back, staring at you, watching as you do it. So you have to be deft with the hands. Then that's what you're saying.
Yes, you do. And if you trust me, I know it's extra work, but I was brought up on a ship that my mom would literally slap me silly if we did this wrong, because you have people's lives in your hands here. I'm sorry. I keep calling you Key. I don't think that's your actual name.
It's not. But life in me hands, you say. And he puts his hands in front of him, and he has one hand, and the other has just a hook that you can tell from it. It's just it's a little insensitive, would you say?
I would say so. But that you know what? Damn it, you got me.
And he cracks a smile. You didn't roll. It's not a natural one. He's definitely making you kind of earn the extra work at the little bit.
I'll
But
help you. But this is,
and you watch actually as he very deftly with his one hand he does a lot of the finesse, but he has a lot of finesse with his hook, and he's able to kind of just very quickly follow through with you, and he does pick it up quick enough, and he's just no, I just haven't I never learned it that way, but I can do it. Yeah.
I mean, also I guess I should apologize. I just sort of came onto your ship and started. No, I'm not going to apologize. That was awesome what you just did. Well done.
The name's chat. What is the name? You let me know. I
Ooh,
will
chat.
tell you.
Bortles 2.
I thought
Such a
this
lovely
was
name.
Wix, or it's just someone else.
No. This is like one of the deckhands that
Yeah.
Wix walked away to just kind of be like, oh yeah, teach them. Teach the crew how to do this. This is going to be great. But chat can absolutely tell me what this name of this little... It's Key. It is Key.
Key.
It's going to be Key.
Lock and Key. I want you to know,
I'm
if
okay
you name
with
him
this.
Key, I am too, but if you name him Key and anything happens to this gentleman, I will leave this game so
Spoilers.
fast. No.
He's a red shirt. He's a red
My
shirt that you
precious
just
boy.
named.
My precious
So
boy. No,
his name's
Key
Key.
Lock.
His name's Key.
Oh
His name's
my
absolutely
God.
gonna be Key Lime.
Oh.
It's his nickname. It's his nickname. Don't worry. It's not his real name.
Which one is the nickname? The lime or the
Key Lime.
key?
Key Lime.
His real name is Florida.
You got to say the
It's
whole
'cause
thing like a Tribe Called Quest.
His real name's Pi.
But
Fantastic names.
you are neutral with him. He doesn't absolutely love you, but he's fine with this. As you go around teaching the crew how to do all of these things better than how they're doing it.
Up to know my shit.
And Wix you do see at one point Wix kind of talking to Captain Redfall at the helm of the ship and is nodding your way and kind of like you hear like the deep booming laughter of Captain Redfall's enjoyment of this predicament that his crew is now in. And you at one point Redfall kind of does come passing by and kind of slaps you on the shoulder and be like, they don't teach him right these days. But and there is a respect of like he knows who you used to sail with and he knows what how tight of a ship that was ran, so it is appreciated. All right, what else is anybody doing?
Goodness.
As I don't sneeze.
Man. I thought I had a better idea at the end of that breath, but I
Yeah,
didn't.
I'll go real quick. Kay very simply seems to be like super into this gauntlet for now, based on leveling up stuff as my dog continues to sneeze. So they are going to find a really nice place to where they can like set up, not get too like not be in the way of foot traffic or anything, and just kind of watch out the side of the boat and look up for a nice view when they need to, but like head down a blanket out, kind of working on their gauntlet again.
All right, so I've gone ahead and shared the handout of the Moxie 7 with you all, so you should be able to see the general layout of this beautiful ship. So you'll see the main deck does go inwards to what looks to be almost like this. So you have, so the main deck from the left side on, so where it says like 4 or 5 into the left, is out in the open. Above it, to the right-hand side, is the quarter deck, at a couple steps leading upwards, where the helm is, where most often Captain Redfall is hanging out, helm in his ship. You see through the doors under the quarter deck, continuing through to the main deck, is a sign above the door that reads the Bluefin Annex. Not the Bluefin Tavern, the Bluefin Annex. And as you go to look around for a place to kind of like get out of the way and settle in, this is literally like an attempt at like a mini Bluefin Tavern inside the Moxie. It's as decor that mimics, a kin. There's black cage lanterns are in there and a couple chairs. There's a small bar. And you think that that's a good place for you to set up shop, at least for now. You also get introduced when you guys were boarding the ship to the lower deck, just so you all are aware that all of those things exist. There's the cargo hold, there's the crew's quarters, there is the kitchen, and as well as like 2 kind of guest quarters. Just so y'all are also aware, because since I'm describing this ship, there's several like lanterns around the ship that, as things get dark, do kind of illuminate in 60-foot like cones. You have obviously the rigging, which you're easily able to climb up, and as well there are how many? There are Wow, I don't even know how many. There are a certain number of harpoons on
84.
the deck of this ship.
It looks by the picture like there are 2.
Yeah,
Potentially.
at the front.
It's like a Sea of Thieves ship.
I was about to say, I was like, this looks awfully familiar.
Excellent. So yes, we'll say 2. We'll say 2
Excellent.
on either side of the main deck. Yes, absolutely. And these things are hefty. And just looking at those, they are in tents and can definitely do some damage. But anyways, do you want to go to kind of like one of the below lower decks, or do you want to settle in the Bluefin Annex for this?
The annex is probably fine.
All right. So you settle down. Is there anything in particular that you're looking to do? Just work on it and quiet.
Just work on it. If anyone walks by to try to talk, they'll talk. But honestly, they're more apt to keep to themselves for now, enjoy the ride, and they want this gauntlet to be ready for when they get into trouble.
Let me ask you one question. If I was to walk by and talk to you, would you talk to me?
Yeah.
Anybody
great.
but Hex.
Yeah,
No.
just not Hex.
Oh,
Except Hex.
no.
Yeet Hex off
I
of
actually
the
prefer
ship
the
into
other witch.
Oh, no.
Superseded.
Rude. That's
Y'all are
So
just
Hex to
gonna
make
have a
a
new party
Hexit.
member instead.
yeah.
No, I'd talk to you for
af-
sure.
Get the
After
hex
you
out
get-
of here.
Get the
After
hex
you
out
get-
of here.
Damn it! I'm trying to get in there. Okay.
Get the
Sorry.
hex
no.
out of here.
You see lock and length. Get the hex out of here. Get the hex out of here.
Damn it. So Hex sort of after you're all settled, she appears as if from the shadows. Which is her
Reassuring.
as is her wont.
Mhm.
And she sort of just sits there. She's flipping through her new book and just like glancing up from it every couple of moments. And then she says, "How did you learn to do all of this?"
Well, she kind of glances up as well. I was brought up in a tinkering trade, kind of a caravan. But I've always had a natural affinity for it as well.
Is it something you wanted or sought out or just something that found you?
Seared kind of shrug. I mean, it's one of those like if all your family's miners and you're a good miner, why not be a miner? So
it's a family trade then, from the caravan.
could say that, yeah.
You meet anybody else who does that?
Thinks about it a minute. No, not quite like this. It's a little more than just making a jewelry or a sword like a blacksmith. A lot of these, such as my gauntlet, are kind of intertwined with us.
Oh, I'm very aware that it's a lot more than something you can pick up on a shelf. And the way that she says it is just very, I don't know if you can tell whether it's like embittered or, just sort of, yeah, I fucking know. Like it's a little too defensive,
Yeah.
of a response. It is not a normal response.
Sure. You'll see a taken aback look on their face, like a kind of like, okay. But she very specifically just stares at you and doesn't say another word until you do, basically.
Yeah.
A voice kind of pops up from across the room, and you see Mayfire sitting at a table on their own, just in the corner. I think that it reminds me of the technology that exists around the city. To an extent. At least your finesse with it.
Maybe so. She puts her head down, starts working again, and we'll continue to talk if people want to talk.
There's like a moment of like contemplation before Mayfire adds, and again, like talking from across the room and not fully like even raising her voice. Have you ever intertwined gems or those types of alloys into your work?
Not particularly, no. It hasn't really been my suit. More so infused with magic than gems.
How about ether?
Yeah, can't say the caravan had a lot of ability to practice any of that, no.
Of course. Just curious. Kind of goes back into like reading a book that she has.
But Kay is clocking the suggestions to try on something other than the gauntlet.
Yeah. And Hex sort of like watches you for a second, and she's like holding on to the book and like thinking, and then she gets up to leave. She like takes the book with her, and she looks over and she says, she kind of like stops and looks back at you from the door and says, "Do you ever worry that with all of these experiments, you'll end up more machine than person?"
And she gives a very solemn smile and kind of tilts her head to the side. If I do, it's still me.
I wouldn't be so sure. And she walks out.
Gives a slight nod and goes back to her work.
For the record, I'd have been very surprised if you had used ether. It's something that's been lost to the eons of time. I just had to ask. Mayfire just kind of comments in the back of the room.
By the
If
way.
BTW.
If
Well,
I'm-
actually, ether.
If I get a chance and I'm still with you, I will let you know.
Fawn taught me that the Aleanders once mastered the ability to harness it, but it's, like I said, the sect themselves are lost to time, and they're all but disappeared now, so...
It's like an odd confidence behind Kay's voice, and she just says, "Oh, I haven't studied it, haven't heard of it, but if it was in front of me, I bet you I could do it."
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Turns the page. All right. Langston, how about you?
So Langston has two things he wants to do. He wants to go see the quartermaster and he wants to go see the cook. I need both of
All
them
right.
for things.
Let's do it. You find Wix on the main deck, kind of mostly keeping an eye on the crew, bustling out orders here and there, and you can catch him as he kind of starts heading down the stairs into the lower decks to check on some of the cargo.
Wix.
Yeah.
I need your expertise. At least I think it's your expertise.
Oh, I'm all expertise.
Okay, so can you tell me exactly what you do on this ship?
No. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I am the quartermaster and the bosun. So, keep things ship shape, if you will, and keep the crew in order. Dole out punishment as need be. You don't mess with the Wicks. He cracks his knuckles, but it's not great. It is not imposing at all.
Cool. Do you happen to keep weapons? To make sure that the weapon upkeep's all good? That sort of thing.
Kind of looks you over with this sure, what do you mean? Do I have weapons or?
Yes.
Sure. You have weapons, don't you?
Yes, but I'm...
Say what you
I'm
mean,
looking-
boy.
Good God. You sound just like my dragon. Do you have two swords that I can trade you for this glaive?
2 swords.
Short swords, perhaps. Rapiers.
Now I can't carry that, so I won't
No, not
be
rapiers.
very...
Scimitars.
hold on. And he goes to like go through like some of the cargo. And he
Trying to get the
finds.
pirate look.
Oh, that's very important. You do have to absolutely match the vibes, is what I hear the kids say. It's real important.
Kids, there's kids here?
No, like, okay. And he goes and finds like in the what's it called? The main space with the cargo. That's the word, cargo.
Cargo hold.
He is able to find like one short sword. And actually, what do you want for flavor? Do you want like 2 scimitars?
That'd be dope.
Sure.
Pretty cool.
So he finds 1 scimitar. And he's like, hold on. And he goes and like just like kicks the door open to the crew's quarters to start looking through some of the crew's stuff. And when he finally finds what he's looking for, he's just like, okay, hold on. I think we could make a trade here. But that you could take right now. And then he kind of hustles up to the deck and finds one of the red shirts after some talking to, and you see kind of this like grandiose motions as he's like, well, this is a really special blade, but it's too big for him. He thinks it's perfect for you, and he's like clearly like manipulating the combo to make this glaive sound really cool. But he does it with like a quick finesse, and quickly you're able to trade for the second scimitar. So you're able to have 2 scimitars and have gotten rid of your glaive. It was like a whirlwind. Like you were not able to like really. Oh, okay, he's off.
Pretty good.
Great. Yes, so that was something. Are they going to be upset about that? That is a very.
Oh no, they are happy as can be. They think they have scored the deal of the century.
They're totally going to fall over and perhaps go over deck. Are you okay with that?
No, they're strong deckhands. We don't, Captain Redfall wouldn't hire them if they couldn't load the harpoons so they could handle a glaive.
Here at that point from the top, the harpoon's loaded wrong. Locke is just yelling that, just reloads it in.
Okay. Wix, perhaps you can help me with one more thing.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Everything costs. I understand. My girl here, she's growing, and she's in need of a little bit more food than I was quite prepared for. She's growing rather fast, and I am not an expert on feeding dragons.
Oh, I got you. Follow me. And he brings you up to the main deck. And he brings you over to like to one of the starboard side where there's a couple of barrels, and you think he's leading you to these barrels when he then kind of like stops forward and waves his hand to the lake in front of you, and he's like, got hunting grounds for free. All the fish she can eat, if she can catch them.
No. Listen, you don't have to flex to me. I already know what you're capable of.
Wanting to show it off, like Ida does try to like hop onto the deck. Like you can stop her, but will try to like show off that she can absolutely catch a fish.
I am not going to stop her. I'm just like, go.
Roll for her. See if she roll like an attack roll. See if she can catch a fishy.
Let's see. Ida's roll.
And she can fly, right?
I should have cast guidance.
No.
Oh, she cannot. Okay.
So my flavor for this is she's gotten too big for her wings to carry her. She eventually can learn to fly again.
Okay.
So
up until now she has been, right? Like for our flavor, like
she's a little tiny thingy with her little wings, but her little wings haven't grown. Now she's struggling to fly. You said roll what now?
Like an attack roll or whatever you have for her that makes sense. That's fine.
Well, I actually just rolled a nat 20, but it's not
in
there.
Oh, amazing.
Hell yeah.
That works for me. Okay, so you watch as Ida hops up to the like railing of the deck and starts staring at the water, like with a very discerning eye, like watching for glimmers of movement in the waters below. And you wait and you wait. And then in a flash, she just dives straight into the water. A beautiful dive, going deep. And you see her emerge from the water with and there's, by the way, in this book, there is absolutely fishing with Wix, which is hilarious. And you can do this. So I will take the results from this table that's within the book. This is not me. This is the book. You've rolled a natural 20, which is perfect for me. In Ida's mouth,
Oh my god.
is a Hendon gold tooth piranha.
Shoot.
Jewelers in Fano, as Wix quickly tells you, will pay 100 gold for this fish.
Turn
And
around.
necklaces
Eat
are
it.
constantly necklaces are fashioned from their teeth and quite popular among the Fano's elite. However, emerging from the water with this piranha to Wix's like shock and awe as he kind of like claps you again on the lower back because that's where he reaches. Is like it gives it like an enthusiastic whoop, but you're the first, Ida, you're the first to discern that they're now struggling to get out of the water as they had expected to be able to fly and cannot.
You can climb. Do you have a net?
Go ahead and make like a dex based thing.
There's a harpoon right there. Use it.
Don't worry, I got her.
Yeah, and you know what? It's fine. I won't let you roll because it's just of how long it would take. But with like a bit
No,
of
you know what
a
I do?
fuss.
I go
Go ahead.
get the guy that we gave the glaive to, and I'm like, just hold that. She'll climb up it. It's fine.
And you see him kind of like leaning over, like, but it just can't reach. And it's just like, what if I go down below deck? And you're like, no, just hold it. And there's this whole like commotion that starts to happen on the starboard side of the main deck. And Ida does climb back up eventually, pride wounded and like a little upset as there starts like jokes already being made from the crew and yeah, it's.
She needed that. A little bit of humility goes a long way.
I did not. You hear like I just like rumble. I got it. I could have. Flown. And then before you can stop her, she eats the fish. Wix is very upset at this.
I'm also upset. Think about this. I'm a jeweler.
That's true. And it's not like she can't eat it in one go, so you can try to grab it at the very least to try to save the
Those
teeth
teeth.
because that's all that
Get
really
those
matter.
teeth.
Nope, we're just
all
gonna.
right.
I just look at the guy and I'm like, you know, it comes out eventually.
Oh, damn.
You can mark on your character sheet eventually 100 gold worth of golden tooth piranha
That's
teeth.
awesome.
Nice.
That's
Gold
great.
worth of teeth.
Had to clean up her poop so far. It's not new.
It's not new. It's fine. This is fine. Okay. As you all continue on your journey and spend your time, you approach a little closer to the Merquois Tower. A shadow slowly inches its way across the ship's deck, and your attention shifts to the port side as the monstrous tower rises from a remote islet. You arch your neck to take in its magnitude, but the sun dazzles your eyes as you catch a glimpse of its pinnacle. Glowing violet moss grows unrestrained, wrapping around the tower's foundation like spreading ivy. A crystal, placed at the very top, glints in the sun. A purple light dances with frenetic energy inside the crystal, as if the crystal cages some wild, glimmering madness, waiting to burst free. And you see that this is the tower that has been denoted.
That looks awesome. y'all want to go up there? I really want to go up there.
Stop you?
My parents came out here looking for answers about the Merquois. It's possible they could have been lured to a place like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind looking around. Not that I'm expecting to find anything.
You feel another looming presence as Captain Redfall appears behind you as you kind of take this in.
Oh no, my
And he,
daddy issues.
Hey, cops, who's here? This Locke, Hex, and Langston. Is Kay coming out to look at the sites at all?
Yeah, probably. Kay would like have seen it in the distance and cleaned up to make sure she didn't have to leave any of her stuff. And
Both Hex and Locke get a kind of clap on the shoulder as the two of you are the ones that talked about like get going there, and he's just like, interested in the tower, are you? Boy, do I have a story about the tower.
Oh.
Come, listen up. Kind of pulls you in. And you know Redfall loves his stories.
Awkwardly just like crushed into his like chest. Ow.
I love how you're like awkwardly crushing and Hex is like,
oh,
oh no.
you're so big. So
Many
strong. Oh my gosh.
times when we were sailing by, I'd catch a bunch of young hooligans drinking out there in the rocks below the tower. Spearing guards have told me before I see them out here, taking them aboard, bring them home, but I ain't giving out free rides. So if the young hooligans want to drink, so be it. Anyway, one night, I saw someone out there. Alone. Sitting on a rock. I didn't know if one of the kids got left behind, so I took the dinghy out there to find out. When I got there, I saw it were no kid, but a tall man with pale skin and hair black as soot. I asked him what his business be. He said his business be his own. That's a code you live by. So I began to row back when he called out, asking if I had any rum on the ship. I brought him aboard, took him down to the Bluefin Annex. The crew were having a quiet night and were tanked from the day's work, so we're the only ones talking down there. I asked him where he came from, and he told me all around, but mostly below. The man said he were out on the rocks wondering if he were doing the right thing anymore, second-guessing everything he'd ever done. He weren't making much sense and I were drunk, so I were having a hard time following what he was saying. I do remember something he said, though. He told me it didn't matter whether he did the right thing or not, and that didn't stop what was coming to Fano. Something altogether evil. And a curse upon myself, the rum had caught me, and I had to use the privy. When I came back, he were gone. I ran up to ask him more, but he was already sinking down in the water.
Locke's just
Anyway,
turning
we're not
blue.
stopping. And like
This
that's
happened all after you called him a dinghy?
No, the dinghy. Kind of points up to the deck.
rowboat.
the life.
Yeah, Locke leans in. That's a rowboat.
The quarterdeck. And you see there is a small dinghy on the back of the quarterdeck by the helm.
Just like Sea of Thieves.
So this man, you brought this stranger aboard your ship. You gave him your rum. He told you a story, and then he drowned himself. And you just
I was a little bit drunk. Like I said, don't fully remember it all, but that's what I saw.
Any sense of like what kind of creature that might have been? Based on
I don't.
mythos?
Yeah. Do you remember what he
Yeah.
looked like?
Well, and he explained like it was just really pale skin and hair black as soot. Yeah, go ahead and
Maybe
make me
history?
like a history check. Yeah, that works.
Natural 20! Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, interesting. All right, let me find something real quick. Talk amongst yourselves.
A 13.
I was
A 13.
100% celebrating that, but I also felt dead inside at the same time, so I was like, natural 20!
Natural 20. Whoa.
15. I really gotta read some books or something.
That's not bad.
We're all
That
the
ain't
terrible.
bad.
I rolled the worst with a +6.
I have a -2.
Oh, no.
A lot of dust on the back of my pop filter here.
Pop.
So,
filter.
At least it's not
How do
cat
you-
hair.
How are y'all enjoying this sailing trip? It's kind of
Yeah.
my old life
I mean,
here.
we got a fish, so that's the
Yeah,
best
that was a
part.
great fish. Did you find the teeth yet? Are they in the dragon shark? Still not yet?
No, she hasn't quite passed them yet, but I imagine they'll come out eventually.
It'll be a golden opportunity.
Hey, there's the K we know and love. You should make more jokes. That was great.
Okay.
A little nugget.
A chicken nugget.
God.
A nug of gold.
So I may be wrong, but it's not the thing that I thought it was. So,
So we
It
all
was
went.
Optimus Prime. It wasn't a pale man. It was a
I got the
transformer.
whole-
Ah,
you
Young Sam, whatever his name is.
with your history, with your natural 20 though,
Yeah.
something with pale skin and dark hair.
A vampire.
Who knows? That doesn't necessarily like stand
Adam
out in
Sandler.
particular. Like maybe he's just talking about it being like, I don't
Was
know,
there
a pale
singing?
guy with dark hair, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like nothing that doesn't. It's like, oh, I know these type of people are all pale with black hair. Like that doesn't come with what anything that you've read. But the thought of like someone sinking down below
Yeah.
does like trigger a thought of some of the stories that you heard of whatever is below the lake.
Yeah. There's like some kind of city down there.
Something.
Yeah.
And it is known as, and like I think I don't remember, have you guys done this
Sorry.
before, right? You've talked to you about, like, you've done a check and you've heard about
Yeah.
a
About
city.
the
Wasn't that
Atlantis
in
thing.
Mayfair's book? Her dad's book? Wasn't it something about beneath the waves?
Yes,
or-
of Chrysalie.
Yeah.
Chris.
Perfect. So that does make you think of that. Absolutely.
As we all have that realization, we all just turn to
Yeah.
Mayfair.
Mayfair, you got just what I need.
And Mayfair's like there as well, like listening on this story. And as you all like look at her, she's like, "What?"
Oh, nothing. Keeping it hush hush, I
Is-
see. All right.
The
Is that
Splash
unheard
Palace.
Is that unheard of that someone would, from a mysterious place like that, would surface, or is that completely unheard of?
Depends. I usually see a man in that tower, actually, so maybe not that unheard of. Calls himself Lord Maiden, lives in the tower, and he occasionally just moves a stone block and sticks his head out and says hi. But if I ever ask him why he's up there, he just ducks in and puts the stone back, and I don't see him anymore.
And you said we're not stopping, right? You said we're.
No. We have many miles to go.
Locke looks to Hex and says, very like, a little too loudly, "What if we did stop? What if just asking for a friend here? What if the ship was suddenly somehow unable to move and we just had to?" Is
The
this a
hand
good,
on your
is this a good
shoulder like
idea?
tightens
No,
from Captain Redfall, who's
Yeah.
still standing right
Yeah.
next to
Yeah.
you. Reminiscent of that muscle grip that
Yeah.
Kay did to poor Bortles.
Okay. Oh no. Oh. It's Redfall.
You messing with my ship?
No, I was
No.
asking for a friend. I would never mess with
a
the ship.
friend. I see.
Huh?
And
Still looking at Hex.
Go ahead.
yeah,
Kay,
Hex. Oh, sorry.
I'm
Okay,
just
go
gonna
ahead.
make a joke. But Kay's up front shooting the harpoon down into the ground, so we do a hard turn to the right.
Yeah,
Just a
great.
quick anchor.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll Sea of
Yeah.
Thieves.
Yeah,
I see.
true. I love
Fano-
where your head's out.
Drift. If we're not out of control, we're not in control. Let's go, baby.
She says, she like looks up at the captain and she says, you know, I know what it is to lose someone, just as you expressed to us that you did. Wouldn't you want to stop and see if maybe there was a sign of them, if there was even any possibility of it?
Kind of looks you over, and you're referring to your own parents?
Yeah.
Did we know? We don't know that though, right? Hex hasn't said anything.
God, I don't remember.
Hex just said it right now, though. Like, Hex
Yeah.
said, like, something along the lines of, like, you know, your
Just
parents
a couple
were-
moments ago, she was like, oh yeah, my parents came out here looking for more information on the Merquad. They went missing. That would be just the kind of place.
And I think
Mhm.
Locke is dialing in.
Looks you over, kind of releasing your shoulders a little. We'll slow down, but you can take the dinghy. Row yourself across. Don't take longer than an hour.
All right.
It'll take us an hour to row there.
Not if we row fast. Come on, strong arms. And
Yeah, you got a magic hand. Let's go.
let's go, baby. You don't got a little invention for that?
No.
Langston, are you joining the crew that is rowing across in
Come on,
to the tower?
Langston.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right.
Amazing.
Did we just find our name? Are we the dinghy crew?
Dinghy crew.
The dinguses.
I
Yeah.
like
was thinking.
there's nothing that could possibly go wrong now. Okay. So you all get
Sometimes
in.
you gotta
in
press
this-
the red button.
Sure. In the effort to go and, like, you know, lower the dinghy in the water, you do take note that it does take two of you to do so properly. So it does take two people to get it down evenly. And you guys go and start rowing. I mean, you could, you know, there's a chance you could do it alone and it could just, like, fall into the water. It'd be great.
17 in strength. I feel pretty good.
Piling in, you head off towards the Merquois Glow Tower. As I mentioned, the Merquois algae covers it like ivy, and as you go closer and the wind shifts, again, you sneeze, Hex, as you realize that this is going to be a lot on your sinuses, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, you're hit by sort of like the wave of, like, oh wow, there's a lot of Merquois here.
Mhm.
A lot. And as you head and reach the small, like, it's on an islet, right? So it does have a little bit of a base that you're able to go near some rocks, secure the dinghy, and start climbing up towards the tower. As you get out of the dinghy, you are not able to fully avoid the water. And there's one thing that you denote as you sort of, like, take a half step in here, and, like, you know, water does hit up to your calves and try to, you know, secure the little boat. The water, unlike the rest of the lake around this, is warm, almost like bath water, like truly warm, and it strikes you as odd. And you secure it. Go ahead, sorry.
Why is it so warm?
Well, there's one obvious answer. Why the waters?
Someone pee in the pool.
Our dragon peed in it.
There's maybe a big old fish. Maybe
That's
big
a
shark,
word
whale.
crime.
Lisa just looks up at the sun. That's not how it works.
Mm.
Is there Merquois, like, in, like, the where, like, the waves crash on, like, the shore? Is there like detritus of Merquois?
You can absolutely find some, like, it grows in abundance on the base of the tower and starts
So it's
wrapping up.
mostly around the tower, not in the water.
It is correct. It is
Okay.
mostly around the tower, though there are some, you know, that have made its way, so it's not it's not like pristine and then odd in that sense, but you can find some, absolutely.
Well, just be careful. Don't touch it.
No, take some, ingest it. Just
Are you
have a
going
little
to
snack.
say don't die? And I was like,
Well, that too.
Goes without saying.
Hey,
I
sometimes.
don't know. Some people like to eat blood.
Yeah.
Don't eat it. I use it, she says.
Also-
She like pulls the dinghy up on the little rock, using her frustration as like a motivator to get the boat up.
Using blood and eating blood are very different things.
We all use blood.
Technically, I'm using it right now, but not eating it.
A
As
bit productive.
Feeling
You know
very
what? Let's
judged right
continue.
now, she said. I'm feeling very judged.
as these arguments start unfolding around you, Kay,
Yeah.
you climbed forward, and I would like you to make a crafting check
saving
for me.
throw.
A crafting check.
Yes.
Is that a check? It's not a check.
I don't
No.
know. You are
could
a
do-
tinkerer.
you
I
could
have
do like
tools, hold on.
Whatever what are you
Intelligence.
crafting? I guess.
Yeah, I have tools. Hold on.
Because you just use your tool proficiency.
Yeah.
What are
You
you
like a-
good at for your little tinkering self?
Oh.
What is a skill?
Chill.
I don't know.
I have tools.
We're good.
This is why I'm
What
asking
about a
the
skill?
questions.
I
So
equip my tools.
I appreciate it. I don't want tools. I want skills. They're different.
I don't know. It's gonna be. I'm gonna roll a history check because it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be It's gonna be my intelligence because I'm an alchemist
Yes.
plus proficiency.
Please use
There you
your
go.
brain roll, please. I would like some brains rolls.
Roll your brains.
I'm gonna
Oh,
use
that
it here.
beautiful brain footage.
Ooh, it's gonna use the chicky nuggy from earlier today. Brought
How
to
did you
by
get 855? What is that roll?
It's worse. I'm gonna use another one. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Oh, wait,
this
I
is
got- I
D&D,
blessed you
so
and
we
guided you.
can... Oh, got guided. Got guided by a
Super guided.
D4.
So
Ultra
guided.
guide.
Ultra guide. It's better than my one.
Back to
Brings
the
it
original.
Back to
We got it.
we pretend that hero
Guidance
point never
plus
happened.
ultra.
Oh, that means I get to keep it.
So,
Even you can be a hero.
as you approach the base of the tower, you kind of like you're looking at it from a crafting perspective because this is a very unique foundation, and that light that you saw, that crystal with the energy, it sparks your interest a little because of what Mayfire said about gems being infused and utilizing it for power, and aether comes through, like the thought of it comes into your mind. However, the noise is what kind of catches you off guard as you step through, like a little closer to it, and carefully tuning out the arguing from your friends, you listen in, and you hear the faintest, like, whooshing of wind coming from within the tower. And you realize, okay, so it is hollow. It is kind of like Redfall's odd story of like somebody like poking their head out from it. Like, okay, so there's this hollowness to it, but the wind is moving in there, and the water is warm. And you try to put together like what this could be. It could be a navigational beacon based on its design, right? It could be like a lighthouse of a kind.
Like a chimney.
Or a chimney.
Like-
And
Ugh.
Chimney sounds about right.
but why would it be warm? So it could be a chimney. It could be something more mechanical. That, things need like engines or things that have more power to them need a way to funnel that out as the heat gets generated. So it could be like an exhaust port, perhaps, or something like that.
Yeah, the
that-
tower is an exhaust port, and then the ocean is the cooling mechanism.
Mhm. There's all sorts of, and all of these kind of like your brain is just on it, like thinking about like what are these uses for this? What's going on here?
Yeah. Kay kind of locks in and two immediate thoughts in her mind are that it's like an outlet for heat and something's creating heat in there, whether that be an engine or actually that's the one thought in her mind, but it's like it could be like an engine or even a smithing area, a forge kind of thing, etc., because they need an outlet for any smoke.
The scale of this thing, though.
It's big.
How large is its functioning counterpart for this to be
Just the little
any of those
heat booth.
things?
Sure. Yeah. Kay will kind of shut up everybody from arguing and relay that a little bit, just in all the words we just said, because I don't want to repeat them.
An exhaust port? I mean, it would have to be huge, you're saying.
And
Langston, the
Gasoline.
thought of the mechanical components and gems that are infused within the city itself it comes up in your mind at the thought of like how big.
Bring this up to everybody else too. I'm just like word vomiting everything that I know about gems and stuff like that, and telling Ida to shut the fuck up for a little bit so I can actually concentrate and tell the story.
It does
Well,
sound
yeah.
like the sort of place adventurers would go. Do you think we could get inside and just have a little look?
And I start casting Shatter.
Oh god.
But waiting for approval. I can get us inside, or I can at least try to get us inside if
Kay will put an arm up in front of Locke for now.
Oh, that
right.
seems danger. Yeah.
All
Unless, no.
If it's built for a
Th-
reason,
th-
if it's built for a reason and you break it, then it's
just a little
it's
hole.
okay.
Not a. I don't want the whole tower to come down.
You understand how
Is there-
holes
didn't
in
they say
pressure
there's-
work?
Didn't they say there was like a window up there that little man would peek out?
Start casting jump as high as I can. That's not a spell.
Jump is
Can I try to climb the outside of the wall to look for that window?
Yeah, you could absolutely. You look at this tower, and again, it's humongous. And to get anywhere near the crystal would be near impossible without like tools and professional like climbing experience here. But you can try to climb it a little bit to see what you can find. However, the outside is slick with something it seems to be you're allergic to.
Oh,
Mark.
that'll be a fun time. Yeah,
I'm happy to try to climb it.
Yeah, we're not allergic.
Yeah.
how nice for you, she says.
Sorry, that was kind. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I insulted a man about
She's
not
gonna-
having a hand. I've insulted you about allergies. This is just not my day.
She's gonna take 2 arrows, and tie them to the bottom of her boots with her rope, and see if that makes it easier for her to like have
Little
little chinks. Yeah,
Okay, so you're still gonna try to climb it.
yeah. I feel
see
like
athletic check in our future.
it's. I know that this is a terrible. Like I and Richmond know that this is a terrible idea, but this is like for some reason she's determined and pissed off that she like can't get further on this quest, and that she has to
Yeah.
rely on these other people, and she doesn't do that incredibly well. So she's gonna have to learn the hard way, I think.
Kay instead
Well-
is going to pull out their Dungeoneer's pack, their 10 pythons, their 50 feet of rope, and
Just on the side while like straps 2 arrows
climbing
to her
here.
boots.
And this is the same thing that Langston is doing because he actually did prepare for an adventure. And looks over at you like,
And Locke is
And
over there
Hex.
with Hex and just like, yes, no, more arrows on the boots, yeah, and is like helping you. Like,
we've invented cleats.
You're so locked in, Hex. You are not paying attention to the 2 that
Yeah.
are unloading these like useful packs around you, and Locke, you're just trying to make up for like the insults
Yeah.
right now, and you're like, you got this. This is
You got this.
great.
You're
I cast
good.
guidance on everyone.
Creative solution, Hex. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is great. He's tied arrows to his own boots, and he's just like, "Let's go, let's start climbing this thing. There's no way this can go wrong."
Clear
So
eyes.
here you go to do this. Now you all have kind of approached it and you've listened to it from this one side, but I will say that you have not gone and done even like a look around this thing in any way.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is fine.
You want to do that?
I'm not gonna tell you that you didn't do that like I just did.
So
And
I'm just gonna go ahead and roll that.
Yeah,
And I'll have Ida also roll hers.
Absolutely. So you all start kind of preparing yourselves. Now the thing is, Hex, you're locked in. You're kind of like, okay, I got this, and you're headed forth. Now this is a rocky outcropping, and it makes it difficult to like find a spot to kind of unload your packs. So Kay and Langston do kind of take a couple steps like to the sides of it to kind of just find a spot to do all these things. Locke with a natural 1 is absolutely, like I said, focused on the right thing, on supporting a friend.
I'm supporting
honestly,
a friend.
I think
I don't care about stairs.
Kay and Langston
he
are
saw
just
the
being
ladder
selfish.
and he's like, no. I'm gonna help my friend.
So you had a 13, and then can you just make what's your? I guess we have passive perceptions here, but what? Just roll me a perception. Okay.
Oh, mine's crap, so I'll roll it.
Okay.
My passive would be an 8, I think.
I do want to take the
David, the dice really do hate you tonight.
They really do.
No, they're on it tonight.
They're against it.
12.
I do want to cast guidance on everybody, and I'll roll for everybody individually. But I rolled a 3 on Hex, so
that's what matters, right?
Yeah. All right. Kay gets also a 3, and everyone gets a 3. There's 3s all across the board.
Around.
There we go.
Amazing. So as you kind of go off to the sides to kind of pull out these packs,
2 for me.
Langston and Kay, you do see like a slight difference in the stone, kind of like just right around the corner from where you all are. But meanwhile, Hex is going to begin to climb.
She's like, I'm gonna find that window, goddammit. And she rolls a 17, including the guidance.
Okay. Now, as a reminder, Captain Redfall's story was that a brick was removed and someone's head pokes out, and a brick was then replaced. So you're not looking for a window, you're looking for like a loose brick or something like that.
She looking.
You start to climb. Are you trying to avoid the Merquois with these rolls, or are you trying to just climb through it?
I think she's trying to I think she's just trying to climb through it. Like, okay. I think...
Yeah, and it's going to be near impossible to fully avoid. But
yeah, exactly.
So you start to climb. That's enough to easily kind of start getting off the base. You find little crevices. Mm-hmm. The bricks are large, and you start to ascend. Like with anything, you know, your nose is running. Anything when you're in a presence of something that you're allergic to, your nose is running and your eyes are kind of beginning to itch a little bit. Yeah. But you just started. It's fine. You can do this. And
she's like sniffling, and she's like, "See, resourcefulness.
You're doing great.
That's what it takes. Just a little creativity."
Mm-hmm.
You begin to ascend successfully. That you rolled totally fine. And I'd like one more athletics check, please, as you grow a little bit higher.
Sure.
Meanwhile, the two that noticed a slight difference in the tower, and like around the corner. Are you guys looking to check that out?
Kay wants to stay here within like reach, or at least like running feet of Hex and Locke if they're climbing, and also like we'll be the middle person if Langston wants to go check that out real quick.
Langston absolutely will. He lives for this shit.
Perfect. So you go kind of step around the tower to see what's on this side of it, and you notice like the space where it changes. And then you look and you see a door.
Damn.
However, It is a heavy, heavy door. It's not just like, oh, here's a wooden door. It is shut and reinforced. And you see like hundreds or 100 locks alongside this door. It is heavily, heavily reinforced and locked.
Oh, locked.
Langston cast thaumaturgy, and using a booming voice, Langston goes, "I found it! I found a door!"
And as you do, I roll. I don't know if this is good in this game, but a natural one. Is that good?
It's really good, actually. It's new golf rules.
It's it's actually
Other
really
game I
good.
was playing the other day,
lower
it was
the better.
great. This game,
Yeah, 19 under par.
So what happens is the voice of a booming Langston startles you.
Uh-huh.
And you grip onto a particularly slick piece of like just Merkwa covered stone. And it slides just as your eyes begin to water, and like it's hard to like you're trying to like blink out, like, you know, when they get really teary and it's like just it is a mess. So you can make I'm going to speak Pathfinder terms, and y'all just can translate it for me. A reflex saving throw.
That's correct.
Sure. Dexterity save.
Great.
Oh.
Great.
Also,
I got waffles
Yep.
too. Yes.
I actually thought it was reflex.
Natural 20. So
Hey!
45.
Okay.
there have been so many 20s this game.
So now I
That's
feel
wild.
bad. I had not finished saying with disadvantage, but I don't
Oh,
want to take that away from
I
you.
can't. You can take it away from me. It's okay. I rolled
I
a natural
feel
one.
bad.
I rolled a natural one. It's more dramatically.
Lock is
Wait,
still on the
again?
If
ground.
you roll a natural one, you have to die.
No. I'm saying I rolled a natural one, so it's okay to tell me to roll with
Okay.
disadvantage.
Okay.
So goodbye, natural 20. Hello, 15.
Ah,
Okay.
Locke will be trying to like catch too, like.
You're
like,
grabbing on to slow your fall as you miss you miss your grip. A 15 is good enough to kind of start like grabbing things and slowing your fall, but like you're like trying to grip with like very little stones here. How are either Kay or Locke assisting at this point? Just trying to catch.
Try to catch, but worst case scenario, if my body can cushion the fall, that's also fine.
No.
Bless you,
Just-
child.
That was Kay's
Yeah.
exact thing, trying to like arms
Break
up,
yourself
very
upon
tall,
my
very
body.
buff, trying to catch,
Yeah.
but like will fold and allowed to be a cushion.
Yeah, literally same exact.
So you
we just-
you made
A double high five.
imagine, if you will, as you're going to start climbing this tower, when you start just getting just a little bit off the ground, you know, you manage, okay, I got this, I can climb this. That was your first check, but you get just a little bit higher, so maybe like 10 feet off the ground, basically, where is when you continue to climb up and rolled your natural one. So at this point, full body sliding against the Merkwa, like getting it absolutely all over your front, your side of your face, and like all down your front as you slide down the tower, trying to grip. With the 15, you're managing to slow your fall, and then very quickly with both Kay and Locke at the bottom there, kind of like grabbing you as you kind of get in their reach. You're without any damage aside from a couple scrapes, get to kind of like get back to basically square one. You've slowed your fall. You're not going to take any falling damage, but you're down to the bottom of that. You are covered in Merkwa.
It's all terrible.
You are scratched. A little bleeding.
Yeah.
And what that means for you, we'll find out next
Oh.
time we play.
Uh-oh.
Sheesh.
Uh-oh.
Sheesh.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure having a little bit of
I'm in
Merkwa in your
trouble.
blood infused is just going to be good for you.
That'll be alright.